Alright, here we go. We are off. Alright, so let me check the records CoNDOR bot told me about here. We're looking at Evtet sitting on a 3-3 and Kailaria sitting at a 3-6. 17-minute average win for Evtet, 15-minute average win for Kailaria. So, yeah, this is, I think, one of the lower divisions. I think this is a blood tier matchup. So, but, we will probably expect to see a little bit more safety, like we're seeing right here with Kailaria doing a peek into the shop, than you might see at some higher levels. But make no mistake, even at blood tier, racers can go really surprisingly fast when push comes to shove. Right now we're still kind of early game though. We do have the early quartz armor, which is a nice bit of safety. Quartz armor going to be reducing any incoming damage hits to 1 heart at most. Which basically puts a hard cap on the amount of damage you can take at once. It's pretty strong, but does mean that, even like enemies like red bats or ghosts, which hit for 1 heart, still hit for 1 heart. They won't have their damage reduced at all, which does make it a little bit deceptive of armor. A lot of times when you have armor, you're kind of in the mindset of, oh, I can just kind of plow through these weaklings and not really worry too much about the damage. But you got to be careful with quartz when you're, because you can very much die in fewer hits than you might expect. We've got a Shriner here for Kailaria. Looks like we're thinking about potential options here. Evtet on a Blood Whip, and okay, it's from this Blood Shrine, which Kailaria is also going to take, but not going to take the Blood Whip, which I think is wise. We saw right there why a low damage whip can cause a lot of problems. Much better Blood Weapon here. Kailaria a little short on the cash for it, though. Could easily dig out the shop walls with that Blood Shovel. Regen plus Blood Rapier will regenerate most of that health. Oh, we're going back with some bombs. We're gonna bomb out the corners. Okay, we're gonna spend bombs. Which I was just talking about. Something that I think is underappreciated is the value of bombs. Most racers, I think, kind of hold on to bombs. They've got their quick kills for bosses that they know to use them for, especially the Necromancer fight where you want at least 3 or something like a Blood Shovel to get the phase 1 skip. But bombs are a very useful tool for a number of things, like bombing out shop walls for a little bit more cash to buy something, or just using them to do a big burst amount of burst damage against a difficult to handle swarm. Ooh, Evtet not able to take the Blood Shovel with the approach they took there. Ooh, and Kailaria getting grabbed by the monkey. Gonna go down a little bit in health, but still alive thanks to that quartz armor. But yeah, again, quartz armor, gotta be careful here. Quartz armor does mean that probably gonna die in 1 hit from here, being at 1 heart. But does use the nice use of the Gigantism Scroll there to help clear out that Red Dragon fight. And it looks like Evtet has mostly caught up. I believe we are in the room that that they died in earlier. This time with the basic dagger instead of the Blood Whip, which will probably work a lot better. Coral Rift 1 coming up here. Gonna be using a bomb to get to phase 2. Oh, Evtet eating a fireball. This monkey causing some problems again, but does seem to have it under control now. And purple chest check and its transmute tomes. Not the most useful thing, but sometimes it can spike you some good items. Gonna be picking up the Frost Familiar as well, that Snowbro going up top. And yeah, Kailaria already back up to full health after being knocked down pretty low during the Red Dragon fight. We're gonna see the same from Evtet here pretty soon. Ooh, Kailaria with the Blood Shovel, gonna be able to get this potion pretty easily. Evtet also... Oh, Evtet checking the black chest, it's a glass whip. It is a whip seed. We've got the mint noodle here, the mint floss. Gonna be running it because it represents a big damage increase, but it can be a little sketchy. So Gigantism Scroll or bombs here for Evtet can get into this potion. And it looks like, yeah, gonna go ahead and pop the bomb there. Gonna be getting that potion for some nice safety here. But Kailaria right now with a nice distance lead, and I think a build advantage too. So Kailaria definitely in the driver's seat for the moment. But the one thing to note is that Evtet does have a very advantageous build in terms of raw damage output. Kailaria is not hitting very hard with this base, with this just unboosted Blood Rapier. And Glass Spear is probably not the kind of weapon you're looking for to try and improve that. Spear's generally not the strongest weapon type. She can, however, use this Snowbro to kind of help push through here despite the lack of damage. Going out of the way for extra bombs here, but it is going to result in the swarm kind of closing in here. Yeah, I think I'm going to just go around these golems and get into the death metal fight. Evtet swapping over to that Glass Spear. I think that's the good call for Evtet here. Definitely better than the Glass Whip. We'll see. Do we go black for a better weapon? Or, okay, we're going purple and we find... Ooh, that's interesting. Okay. All of those would have been valid takes. I think I would have liked the Ring of Frost for Kailaria here. It makes the 1 damage rapier a little bit stronger. And you're still getting health regeneration from the blood weapon, while the frost lets you handle higher HP targets. But you know, some good stuff went by there, but ultimately going to stick with the current build. Evtet pivoting over to an Obsidian Broadsword out of the boss chest. Pretty decent damage. Like it's a fairly like middle of the road weapon. Obsidian Broadsword, you got to be mindful of the diagonal tile snag, but it's a perfectly usable weapon. Onyx Longsword out of this hidden chest for Kailaria. Probably not going to see any swaps to that anytime soon. But yeah, like right here is like I think a time that I was just talking about. I think this swarm for Kailaria would be a great time to just throw a bomb down. But does manage to squeeze in there. Snowbro coming in with quite a bit of assist there. And yeah, with the larger damage and I think just a little bit better map navigation, Evtet has taken the lead. And there's a Titanium Cat. That is the kind of weapon you want to see. Titanium Cat, one of the strongest options in the game. Especially since CoNDOR mod bans axes. And we're probably going to see Kailaria make the same switch here. Doesn't really need the health regeneration from the blood weapon, because we do have the Ring of Regen. Kailaria is... Okay, yeah, Evtet did find a trapdoor the other way, but Kailaria is heading towards the exit. Could use a bomb here to activate the shrine for some more loot, but at this point, the build is looking pretty solid. We've got quite a bit of safety with the quartz armor, plus the helmet, which I think Synchrony refactored the way defensive upgrades are factored, so I want to say that with an extra bit of defense, everything's just reduced to half a heart. I could be mistaken on that. But Evtet is the first down to Zone 4. Kailaria gonna follow close behind with that shield spell, pairs very nicely with that regen. Let's, that's not correct? Okay, I remember that being talked about as a balance change, but I have, yeah. Thank you, Tuff. I would trust you. I would trust your knowledge on this. I know, like, that was something that was being, like, discussed during Synchrony, to try and make Quartz feel better, but I wasn't sure if it ever got implemented. Yeah, it does. What was changed about Quartz is that it does, get her. Oh no, Kailaria. Oh, and resets. That was a very premature reset. She had so many outs there. Yeah, all you have to do is bomb. Like you've got a shield spell, you just pop the shield and you bomb. That was she had 10 bombs. There was no shortage of bombs, and the point just keeps coming up. Use your bombs. I will I will sing this till the cows come home. Please use your bombs more often, everybody. Well, Evtet now in the driver's seat here. does eat a Dragon Fireball and a Dragon Stomp and loses the potion, so this is not over yet. But, we'll see how this goes going into Zone 4. We still haven't found any extra health. We're still rocking that base 3 hearts. Evtet has pivoted over to Obsidian Armor. Which, yeah, combined with the helmet is a pretty solid defensive profile. Also has those Explorer's Boots, so it doesn't have to worry about ooze problems like we saw on Kailaria's side. But, and yeah, we are kind of seeing some fairly deliberate play here, clearing out these rooms, got an Infernal Torch, using that to laser something in that exit room. But yeah, exit room's just about clear. It's, we are through Zone 4, but we are down a potion on Evtet's side here, so you have to be careful here. Does take a hit from a zombie there and another, but yeah, again, that Obsidian Armor plus Helmet just gonna drop that damage down to just a heart total, which immediately gets patched up by that Ring of Regen. And we're on Zone 5. Zone 5 generally considered a little bit easier than Zone 4. You've got access to this electricity effect that is just going to make short work of larger swarms of enemies. And we've got the food shop. Pretty weak food shop, but it is some extra health nonetheless. And we are approaching the 5-2 exit room. Going to be, taking a big old Dragon Stomp. Oh, and dropping a multiplier, which does mean lower defense with this Obsidian Armor. But, you know, that's not too bad here. Ring of Regen again, just gonna keep patching up Evtet here. Ring of Regen, just such an incredibly strong ring at all levels. You know, in lower divisions, helps you just stay alive. At higher divisions, it enables damage tanking to save time. And there we go. Yeah, shield spell, just plowing right into that exit room. We're on to Dead Ringer. We've got some left side scoots coming in. And there we go. Easy Dead Ringer kill. Not even going to bother with the boss chest. Don't need to at this point. Pretty much all you got to do at this point is just make sure Dorian doesn't die in this fight. Kailaria slowly making our way back through. Just playing it safe. I mean, at this point, you're relying on your opponent taking a death here. So, no rush for Kailaria here. Just got to play safe. Make sure you're establishing a build so that if something does go wrong, you're ready to take advantage of that. But we are halfway through the Necrodancer fight, and there's our first instance of damage in this fight, so it's looking pretty good for Evtet here. Missing a few cycles, but nothing that's gonna kill the run here, and it looks like this last hit's coming in right now, and there we go. That is going to be GG. Game number 1 going to Evtet. And I have my reset key on backspace, which is nowhere near anything else I would be I'd be touching. My controls are on my numpad and WASD and with plus Q and E, so absolutely never touching that reset button unless I mean to. Alright, racers are readied up. We'll be getting race number 2 going shortly. And off we go. Pretty similar start here. Both racers heading off in the same direction. Oh, why did that resize when I tried to move it? And we've got, okay, Evtet finding the blood shop and going for the fight. Probably not looking to take that whip, but Kailaria goes out of the way and finds some spiked ears, and we've got another quartz armor start as well. So these spiked ears giving a very strong +2 damage to your attack, but you need to not drop any beats. You drop a beat, those spiked ears break. Kailaria luring the green dragon over here to get into this shop for free. Going for the bomb on kill on this. Now, if you're doing some screen watching, something that Synchrony did change, and I know I'm not selling misinformation with this, is that teleport RNG calls have been normalized on a seed basis. So if you see your opponent go for a risky throw kill on a blood shop, and it works, you know it's going to work for you too. You can save yourself some resources that way. Oh, and we've got a food shop here for Evtet. Pretty unremarkable, some empty hearts and an apple, but does also come have picked up a Ring of Might here, which Kailaria will be grabbing as well. Yeah, quartz armor is good, you know, at its strongest when it's blocking mini-boss hits. Those normally hit pretty dang hard, but reducing it down to 1 heart is pretty helpful. Hidden chest here, freeze tomes, probably, yeah, not going to be taking that, going to stick with the blood drum here. The blood drum is a very valuable piece of equipment. Ooh, and Kailaria, okay. Yeah, Kailaria not wanting to break the spiked ears there. Yeah, something you can do there is either just burn a beat by prepping a throw before it would spawn, or use the blood drum. I'm not sure she has the time to wrangle. Oh, especially not that way. Yeah, so not going to be getting the leprechaun. Oh, and doesn't go into the blood shop, so it's going to miss out on this extra max health that Evtet found. Like I said, it wasn't that impressive of a food shop, but the Gluttony Charm does mean that if you find a strong piece of food, like a ham or a drumstick down the line, you can just get a lot of value out of that. I think Kailaria might want to check this cracked wall here. That trapdoor is looking pretty good here. And we're going to go for the Obsidian Broadsword. Like I said last race, it's a solid weapon. It's actually pretty good with all the extra damage here. We're looking at a 4 to 6 damage broadsword. That is going to one-shot almost everything. Even when you're looking at fairly minimal multiplier. Could switch to broadsword here for some health regeneration, but gonna stick with the Obsidian. As we're onto Coral Riff. Evtet, though, currently with the lead, and making a swap in that conjure over to an Onyx Longsword. Gonna be grabbing this magic cheese. So Onyx material will deal infinite damage when attacking multiple beats in a row without moving. There are some caveats to it, like you can't, you need to be attacking an enemy, I believe. I don't believe you can use barrels or crates to build up the infinite damage. Evtet there gonna grab their leprechaun, no problem. Ooh, and sees the plate armor, the Squigga suit over there with the monocle. Probably gonna see that picked up here. I think just about every racer will prefer plate armor over quartz. I think, you know, there's a little bit of subjectivity to it. Some players value quartz like about equal to chainmail. Some value it equal to, you know, about equal to leather. Some think it's even worse than leather. But I think it's pretty universal that plate armor is generally going to be the pick over quartz. Kailaria's health is not looking great here. 1 heart with quartz is probably... We're probably looking at 1-hit death here, so Kailaria's got to be careful as Evtet finds an obsidian cat out of the boss chest. That is a very strong weapon. And with all this tankiness, Evtet has the power to push a little aggressively here if they so choose. Especially since their opponent currently behind and pretty low on health. I think if you try and pressure your opponent into going fast in this situation, it's very likely we just see a death come out of it. But we'll see if Kailaria can hang on with this low health. Handling these Yetis very cleanly. It is taking some time, and it's allowing Evtet to further widen the gap. Chop check, not really anything great. Gonna swap to the glass shovel. Under the current circumstances, it makes sense. Any damage at this point would just break you, let alone the shovel. Okay, carrot there, getting a little bit of health back. And Evtet maintaining a 1-floor lead for the moment. Okay, there's got to be careful with these bat closets. Again, she did miss her lucky charm earlier on. Does spot a cracked wall up here. I think that's going to be our Shriner. I think we've seen the Conjurer. Some options here. Could bomb and fight the dragons for a Crown of Thorns if we're wanting to get some more health back. And it looks like that's what we're gonna do here. Yeah, with all this extra damage, this is a pretty easy fight. Also picking up an Infernal Torch here for a little bit of lighting. And yeah, now that the spiked ears are gone, there's not really as much of a need. Uh-oh, this is looking very bad. Oh, the dog hidden behind the elemental! We've been tall sprited again! I thought she was getting out of that, but the sneaky little doggo had something else to say. You know, I try not to call races early, but looking at the situation, something wild would have to happen to Evtet here. We have boosted up to 8 hearts. We're picking up a shield spell. The Blast Helm negates a lot of threats in Zone 4. The one thing that is missing here, we don't have protection against ooze. Nice shield spell there, blocking that Dragon Fireball and aggressively pushing in here. Not even opening that red chest. We might have seen it. I think we had a monocle before, so we might have already seen what it was. Transmog coming in here. I don't even know that there's anything you want to transmog out of this build. Like, you could try to transmog for, like, heavy plate, but you might whiff on that depending on what items have already appeared in the seed. So, yeah, I don't think you do that. Yeah, ring, like, yeah, ring's a choice. You could do that. but I think the +1 damage is kind of some nice safety. You know, keeps you from just dropping multiplier and being in the middle of a giant swarm on 1 damage suddenly. Like, +1 damage doesn't really help you reach new important damage breakpoints with Obsidian, but it does make mistakes much less punishing. Okay, fighting through this black back closet. Yeah, just gotta watch for that one ooze tile there, and I think we're in the clear here. There's no more ooze for the rest of this floor. So Evtet gonna make it to Conga for 6 HP in the bank with a plate armor and a shield spell ready to go. Definitely Evtet's race to lose at this point. Kailaria getting a little bit of a speed boost from this this heart transplant on the run back. You have to be careful though. It's very easy to rush into damage, kind of like that. So yeah, Evtet playing full safety here. We're going to be grabbing a Berserk spell. Getting the unusual Zone 4 boss chest check. And we're also going to be going out of the way for some crate checks. It's a magic apple. Probably not getting any value out of the magic of that apple, but it's +1 HP nonetheless. You're kind of digging around. Okay, now, all right. Evtet, you might want to slow the roll a bit here. Something something that I think, you know, is not talked about much is that there is some amount of knowledge requirements and, you know, skill checks for slow safe play. While you do want to, you know, potentially find extra resources like, you know, more food, you also don't want to subject yourself to unnecessary combat that might just get you to bleed some health out. And we kind of saw Evtet going into some side rooms, which we'd already found all of the significant things that could be found. We found the barrel with the magic apple, and we know the food shop already happened. So, kind of going into those side rooms, just kind of subjecting, you know, you to potential additional damage intake there. That said, you know, this is all nitpicking at the end of the day. Evtet's got 5.5 HP. I don't think there's any issues here. Take a little hit in this exit room, but pretty quick work of that Earth Dragon, and we're on to Deadringer. We've got so many ways to quick kill this. And we're actually just gonna fight this Deadringer normally. Pretty easy setup, though. On to the Necrodancer fight. Blast Helm and Blood Drum. Gonna be very quick work of this phase skip. And we've also got the shield spell for some extra invincibility going into the second phase. Pretty much at this stage, just need to make sure Dorian does not take any damage. Well, doesn't die, rather. He's allowed to take a couple of slaps. Do want to be careful with this Nightmare. Okay, yeah. Cleans it up. A little bit of awkward position here, but yeah, probably just gonna be able to chase Necrodancer into the stage, and yep, there is the clear for Evtet. Bring the score up 2-0. Alright, we're readied up, and we're gonna get ready to go into our game 3 here. And here we go. We got a quick blood shop here, and it's... there's some stuff here, I guess, technically. Alright, throw kill not gonna work there, so Evtet might just leave this alone. Just elect to save the bomb instead. Kailaria going around the other way while Evtet does find a dig through that's gonna save some time. Kailaria does get an Onyx Dagger for her troubles, though. I'm gonna use it to break open this crate, and there we go, gets a Cursed Heart. A little bit of extra health to start with. And this Onyx Dagger will be quite useful in the early game. Gives you a way to more quickly handle tougher mini-bosses, like this Minotaur, for instance. Although we're kind of taking a very... Okay, we're gonna use the Minotaur here to open up the blood shop. We'll probably go for a bomb kill on this. Yep, there we go. Just gotta remember about the Minotaur waiting outside. There we go. Uses the Onyx Dagger to take it out quickly. And Evtet finding a food shop. Gonna be boosting up their health quite a bit. Ooh, gotta watch for that Black Skeleton Lord. That thing will hit hard. I'm talking 4 hearts. Yeah, but... Yeah, you know, kind of... Yeah, Circle of Telepathy. Great on your Coda or Arya runs, but, for Cadence, where you have to worry about the increased aggro on spirits, little less strong. And we've got a gun. Cadence has a gun. Oh, but we loaded a little bit late there, so gonna have to bomb here if we want to kill this leprechaun. Meanwhile, Evtet... Oh, Evtet missed the Flawless on Death Metal 1 and is going into Zone 2 on a low % build with a little extra health. But Kailaria is starting to look pretty healthy here. We've got Obsidian Armor, Boots of Pain, and a gun. Okay, and Chainmail, I think, yeah, Chainmail, generally most runners going to prefer Chainmail over Obsidian Armor. And we do have our Blood Shop here, which we can just shoot that shopkeeper in the face. The way to dodge the follow-up bombs is a little different once the gun recoil is factored in. Kailaria getting tripped up by that and taking a little damage, but... Kailaria's build looking very strong compared to Evtet's... Evtet, who looks like they maybe just started a Zone 2 single zones mode run. Okay, there could, with the Lucky Charm, could farm this shrine a bit too. Yep, we're gonna see some shrine bumps. Not really getting much out of it. Obsidian Spear is something you could take. Oop. Okay, they're overloading the gun there and accidentally shooting instead of dodging out of the way of the Minotaur charge, but... Evtet has picked up a Blood Rapier by now, though, which definitely an improvement over the base dagger, though still pretty low damage. And yeah, rifle gonna make pretty quick work of death metal here, and as we'll see these flawless reward chests for the first time. Picks up a ring of gold, so. They're not going to be hurting for cash here. I could take the sunglasses here. It does give you a nice 2 damage base melee attack, as well as ups the damage of the rifle shots to 4. It looks like that's what we're going to see here. And a lot of health boosting here. All the way up to 9 hearts. Evtet's still maintaining the lead for now, but...
Kailaria's build is looking pretty good. The Boots of Pain also have a nice synergy with the rifle in that it will, the Boots of Pain will kick tiles that you recoil into from shooting the gun. You kind of saw Kailaria clearing out some enemies behind her by recoiling towards them. Upgrading it to the Obsidian Shovel. Not going to be taking the Jeweled Dagger. Sticking with the long-range capabilities of the gun here. Ooh, Evtet finds a Glass Hammer, though. This is... A Glass Hammer is pretty good, but it can be tricky in Zone 3 and 4. You can pretty aggressively just, like, push and be fairly confident that the attack range is going to kill everything, but you gotta watch for Hot Coals in Zone 3, and in Zone 4 you gotta watch for Warlocks teleporting you into danger, or Golems, potentially, since Evtet does not have the Ooze protection.
But, if Evtet can stay out of danger and keep this hammer intact, this weapon alone could carry them into an advantageous position. That said, immediately finding the Obsidian Rapier, though, which don't have to worry about that breaking. Kailaria does take a couple hits, so no flawless reward here, but it's starting to close the gap a bit here. We're on 3-1 versus 3-2. Evtet very cleanly handling this this Shriner fight. And, yeah, Evtet's build's starting to come together here. Glass armor isn't, you know, the first choice of armor, generally, I'd say, but, that's gonna... Oh, well, and there goes. And the immediate find of the Quartz armor there to just, replace that. Kailaria going to also make the swap into the Obsidian Rapier. So, you know, everyone can say goodbye to the rifle. It was fun while it lasted, but gonna be making that pivot. We might see Kailaria make the same fight. Yep, Kailaria's gonna take the same Shriner fight, although Sunglasses gotta be careful here. Don't have a good ID on what dragon is what. But does get a swap to a Ring of War, which is very strong with the Rapier, as we're seeing on Evtet's side. Kailaria is pushing this heart transplant very aggressively. I'm honestly very impressed with how well she made that work out for her. That was very aggressive pushing, and she only took a little damage at the very end of that run. Ooh, probably don't want that ring. Oh, and a monkey in a barrel. So Evtet into Zone 4. Still kind of maintaining the lead for now. Ring of War means that dragon is going to be a red dragon. But, alright, Kailaria on to Tonga 3. As Evtet does a little more shopping, finds some glass slippers for some temporary ooze protection. Well, permanent as long as you don't get hit, I suppose. But, yeah, you do have to be careful about relying on glass slippers for protection against ooze and other floor hazards. And Kailaria, okay, was wondering if she was thinking about skipping the boss chest, but is gonna go and check this purple chest, and we find the Transmute spell. A little bit later than you generally want to find it. It's not likely to get too much value at this stage of the run. Especially since we just saw the Ring of Becoming and left it behind. Yeah, even with, yeah, like with all the like the Ring of War and the Boots of Pain, we're seeing a very aggressive push from Kailaria, and yeah, this gap is narrowing. Evtet has been fairly comfortably in the lead for a while, but that may change. Ooh, and Kailaria finds a potion that Evtet missed, which is just going to enable even more aggressive play here. Kind of struggling to get at this sarcophagus, but does... Okay. And is gonna find a shop here. Okay. Picks up plate armor, and, yeah, Blast Helm, I think that's fair. Get your vision back, and, Blast Helm is just a great safety option You can always just hit bomb and be fairly confident that it's gonna put you in a pretty good spot. Yeah, nice use of the Pixie there to clear the room, and Kailaria takes the lead. Evtet does have that Miner's Cap, though, which can potentially save some time on floor traversal, depending on the layouts. It doesn't tend to save a lot in Zone 5, but it can save some. And Kailaria, I think Kailaria, this is the time to put the pedal to the metal. I don't think you got time to be shopping anymore. And Evtet retakes the lead for that. Oh, but Evtet getting surrounded, and that is going to be it. Yeah, you got to be careful about these aggressive pushes. If you're probably going to want to make sure you have a way back to the wire if you need to handle big swarms like that. But Evtet getting caught out away from the wire, not able to do anything about that massive swarm, and is going to go down. And now, as Kailaria approaches the Dead Ringer fight, it's her race to lose. Looks like we've got some easy left side scoots here. And we're even gonna see a boss check here. Picks up a holy water, probably wants to keep the blood drum here, though. Necrodancer fight often is a, you know, best defense is a good offense. The longer the fight goes, the higher the chances Dorian gets whittled down. So, blood drum means you can skip the first phase and get a free hit on phase 2, so... Yeah, gonna stick with that with holy water. Already halfway through here. Can stick in a couple of hits, but yeah, potion on deck, so nothing to worry about. One final hit coming in here. Just needs to find the lineup, and oh, there we go. Hits the lure. Kailaria taking the win with what I think is, yeah, her fastest win of the season so far. That is going to be a, like about a 22-second improvement on her best win thus far, so... GG's.